Oftentimes, when going through a process such as this, we find that what we thought was true in the beginning turns out to not be true, and vice versa. For me, working on this project sort of opened my eyes to what community arts is all about. We didn't always agree, nor did we always disagree. However, we did make the project work. Our initial idea of doing a mural ended up panning out some kind of way. And being able to use all of our different and various talents and skills helped us craft our project into something much more than just a singular visual arts project. When we started out, when we started out, it was a bit of a task. We did spend a lot of time focusing on things that weren't necessary now looking back at it, such as the different colors, the layout, who to interview, and essentially we were going to be talking to the entire student body. Little things, nothing major in my opinion. Just focusing on things that had some importance, but not as much importance as we were putting on it. Pretty much identifying our singular lanes and working solely from those lanes. For myself, I stayed in the graphic design lane, making the flyers and posters and things of that nature, and let others who wanted to do the talking do all of the talking. And doing the filmography of our work thus far as the project is concerned. I didn't have any expectations as far as what the project would look like. I was, however, concerned as to our ability to be able to pull it all together. These are various personalities, various working styles. Just wasn't sure if we were going to be able to pull it all together. But I was very proud of the final piece. Once it was finished and actually taking the time to walk through the exhibit like or as one is supposed to walk through it, I really enjoyed it. It came out really good. And the feedback that I received from the project was positive as well. So that sort of goes to show that people are paying attention and that the process that we began with this multimedia walking exhibit has potential to do far more than we expected it to do. So I'm proud of that. In community arts, you need to be aware that things are going to change. For us, it wasn't really a surprise, but it was very interesting how drastically things changed. But it's a welcome change, in my opinion. For me, I gained so much from doing this project that I'm even interested in doing it again. I learned more about community engaged work in doing this process. Having never done anything of this nature as far as working in this type of a group, each having our own independent assignments that all needed to sort of come together in some visual composition. I can't say that I learned something new about the community in which we were designing around. It was nice to meet like-minded people or to hear somebody else's perception of the same set of stimuli as myself and perhaps others in the class whom I've had a conversation with. So I can't say that I've learned anything new. I can, however, say that the videos that we watched during the first couple of weeks of class and then the book itself helped to helped me rather to begin to focus my mind on the task at hand. Really understanding the task that's sort of set before us. One thing I would probably change the next time I do this, and I have to say that I will do this again, so that I get something out of this, is to try to take on a task that I'm not already familiar with. I've already, I'm a graphic designer, so I do that. So it was easier for me to fall into that realm and, not really do much. But maybe try my hand at getting dirty, even though I don't want to. And really getting gritty and really just getting into the project a little bit more would probably be the only thing that I change the next time. I believe the project was extremely successful, just because once we really got into our individual niches, people began to do what they knew to do. And as a result, all of the pieces came together. They visually stunning for the type of project that we were doing. I really liked one story in particular in the book in regard to the woman who was working in the prison. They were all actually very fantastic stories. I like the one about the website as well. I forget his name, but they were all just very fantastic stories, and being able to see that even the smallest of things, or the smallest of causes, have the ability to amount to just a huge undertaking that has the power to change a life. That through design, you can change a life. It was really good to see that. It's very rare. I'm not certain if any or any more research would have been helpful for the type of project that we were doing or attempting. But I would say more participation. If we could have built a larger volunteer group or test panel so we could get a more varied feedback. Even though we had a solid group, I think it was a total of maybe like 20 people that we've all spoken to be on a college campus, you might have assumed it would have been a larger group. So that we can have an honest representation of the student body, visitors, teachers, faculty, staff at the school in regard to how they felt about power, authority, communication, and outreach on campus. With my new ability, being a community activist, I do plan to do more of these projects. I might spearhead a project of my own or get involved with other projects. Since I live in the Midtown area, I'm really surrounded by artists and musicians and these eclectic folk, my people. So I do think there's an opportunity for me to take advantage of that in and around my area, and see what phase 2 is for me in this community activism genre. I'd like to participate in some national, maybe even international events in the near future. Not only for portfolio pieces, but just for the hands-on experience of being able to take the graphic design from the computer where I'm comfortable and turn it into a physical visual thing that exists in the real world. I live in Midtown, and I'm always really saying that Midtown is the epicenter of the turnaround for the city of Detroit. So I really believe that in this area we have a monopoly on being able to have the people and the talent and the vision to change things. So I think community activism, the use of community arts, just returning people to a community, period, would be very helpful in saving the city from itself. So I see community activism as a way to not only save the city, We're continuing doing the PACO soup in the fall, so that's a way to save the school. Not that the school is in decline, but if there are people who are unhappy and there's a way to make them happy, I'd like to be a part of that solution. As far as the next phase, over the summer we're going to take advantage of every available opportunity to get everything taken care of for the soup, get our grant funding so that in the fall we can reintroduce PACO to the new student body, and start the PACO soup so student organizations and community organizations can have funding to start initiatives to not only support whatever their cause is, but to draw attention just to the community itself. 6 Mile in Wyoming has nothing great going on for it, but PACO soup is a way to potentially shed some light on the corner, bring attention to some positive change happening in the city, and open up the doors for something amazing to happen. For the next Arts and Activism class, my advice to you is to be open to ideas. Share everything you have. Keep nothing to yourself. If you think something if you're thinking something to yourself and you don't think it's going to be a great idea, share it anyway, because you never know how that idea is going to change. It's all uphill from here. I'd be very interested in taking an independent study course or having independent study hours to continue this work, to be able to work on this during my own time, which for me is rather varied, but to be able to have personal time with the project, especially seeing what the outcome was and how awesome it was and how many people really participated in it and were able to share and give of themselves in this process. I think that just increases the level of engagement because you realize that you've put so much of yourself into the project, and you want to be able to share that with others. And then I know for us, I don't know if the next class will continue the same project that we're doing or if they'll start their own, but there are multiple levels and various directions that PACO can go in. And perhaps over the course of the summer and even in doing PACO soup, the first class we might have an aha moment and realize that there was a factor in our original and initial PACO installation that we forgot to include, or it didn't even occur to us that we needed to have, and that could just continue PACO so that PACO might become an annual thing, and having an an independent study course would give us the time to work on that and take PACO literally to a whole new level that didn't occur to us when we first did the project. But I just think even outside of that, just being able to focus more now that we've gotten our chops wet and have had a taste of what community engaged activism and arts are, to have time to focus on that and to not really perfect it, but sort of nurture that, since we've learned it, to just keep toying around with that gift, toying with that ability, and seeing what we can make from it. I don't know if we would all be together, if this would be individual pieces, but even if I took the independent study and worked on it by myself, I sort of enjoyed, and you can see it through some of the visuals that I created, the idea of PACO being almost an alien being. When we, the little dolls, all come together, we sort of give PACO his energy. He draws from us, or this, well, I'm going to say he's a he, but it could be a genderless being, but it draws from us and becomes a savior of sorts, or the hero, to bear some of the issues that we're going through, to be able to toy with that more. To get more interviews would also be nice, because in the process of shooting the interviews, we lost the audio, so we have amazing video but no audio, and there were some outstanding stories that were given. So to be able to focus on those stories and continue to share the experiences of PACO would be amazing.